everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Poverty Hill Adventures. It's been over 5 weeks since I set up the tent camp this late spring, early summer. And I want to go over how it's been, my thoughts on the tent camp. I had done something similar last fall for hunting season, and I enjoyed that quite a bit, so I am doing it again, but this time summertime. The best way that I could describe the weather the past 5+ weeks here at my tent camp is varied. I've experienced everything from some nights where it got down into the 30s to some days that it got up over 90. I've had issues with haze from the wildfires. That's easy for you to say. The wildfires up in Canada that's drifted all the way down here. I've had some extremely heavy rain. I've had some beautiful days. I've had some foggy mornings. You name it. Other than snow, I've had it all weather-wise. And the reason I mention that is weather is a huge factor when you are basically living outdoors. I did a long-term tent camp last fall, so most of my equipment is been tested and I know what works and what doesn't work, but springtime and summertime is a little bit different. I have not used the wood stove for the tent. I don't even have it hooked up right now. Lighting is not as important as it was last hunting season. The days are super long this time of year. It gets light very, very early in the morning, and it stays light late into the evening. I do have a couple of Coleman lanterns and a kerosene lamp, and for the most part I use them sparingly. I have had a couple of issues with the one vintage Coleman lantern, but I can't blame the product. It's over 40 some years old and it just needed a part to keep it working. As far as the tent goes, the tent has once again exceeded my expectations. The canvas tent is held up to everything that Mother Nature's thrown at it so far, both last fall and this year for the spring and now into the summer camp here. The one thing that I did change is I added a bed instead of a cot. Now it's a takedown bed. It comes all apart, but it has a I don't know, I'm going to say about a 5-inch closed foam. It's not really a mattress, but a piece of foam, and that has been a really good upgrade. There was nothing wrong with the cot, and I slept okay with the cot, but I sleep much better with the bed that I currently have. Cooking, the Coleman stove once again has done everything that I needed it to do. I had a slight problem with the propane adapter, but I can't blame the stove. I said that it's a second-party propane adapter for a white gas stove, again a vintage stove, but that has worked well, and the issue I was having with it has worked itself out, so I have no complaints with that. Cooking, cooking at tent camp. I am not a very good cook, but I have been doing all of my own cooking here, and I am slowly, and I emphasize the word slowly, improving. It's been fun. Some of the meals are pretty simple. Others I get a little more elaborate. Most of them are cooked on the Coleman stove. Some on the charcoal grill here. It's been fun. Let's just put it that way. It's been fun cooking. Last fall with the tent camp, my primary purpose was hunting. And now that it's summertime, my primary purpose is fishing. It's not exclusively fishing, but I've been spending a lot of time fishing, and the fishing's been good. It hasn't been fantastic, but it's been good. I've caught several species of fish. I've caught brown trout, rainbow trout, largemouth bass, crappie, perch, sunfish. So it's been a wide variety of fish. The weather has factored into some of my fishing success, but since I set up the tent camp here for summer, in the past 5 weeks, I think I have to double check my journal, but I think I'm over 150 fish total. All of the fish, with the exception of one brown trout, have been catch and released back, and I've used various methods to catch the fish. Recently, I have taken up fly fishing, trying to teach myself with help from others on how to fly fish, and I have had limited success in catching some fish with the fly rod. Spinning tackle, live bait, artificial bait. I mix it up. I enjoy various methods of catching fish. Being at tent camp has offered me the opportunity to see a lot of wildlife. Most of it is just brief encounters, mostly when I'm least expecting it. Oftentimes I don't have time to get the camera out to take pictures or whatever. But it is fun. And it's interesting to be here at camp for as long as I have, and the various wildlife that I've encountered. Perhaps you're retired and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to set up a long-term camp and spend time there. Or maybe you're still working and dreaming of a long-term camp, you know, something other than going camping for a few days or a week's vacation. I would encourage everybody who has ever thought, hey, you know, I'd like to do that, to go ahead and do it. It's doable for the average guy. I think just about everybody could figure out, if they wanted to do it, could figure out the details. Although I've done it in the fall at a long-term camp, used it for hunting, and now in the summer, the two are considerably different. Fall, especially up north here, you got to be a little more prepared for the weather, and you have to be prepared for shorter days. And I know that doesn't sound like all that difficult, but especially late in the fall, you've got limited daylight, and you've got some real long nights and some time that you have to fill in camp. So little things like just entertaining yourself once the sun goes down, you know, make sure you got some books or maybe a little transistor radio or things like that. Summertime is much easier, and I'm actually enjoying so far this summer camp immensely. I think I'm enjoying it more than I did last fall's long-term hunting camp. Like I said, the two are different. So I would encourage you to give it a try. Give it a try. I mean, what do you got to lose? You know, maybe you don't have all the latest gear and everything else, but you don't need it. I mean, get yourself a decent tent, decent sleeping bag, and the rest will all fall in place for you. You know, you can make do with a lot less gear than the catalogs out there and the guys trying to sell you stuff tell you gotta have. You don't need the latest and greatest. So, would I do this again? You bet I would. And I'm going to continue with summer camp for as long as I can. You know, I'll still be putting out some tent camp journal videos. Probably not quite as often as I have been, because I don't want them to get repetitive. I mean, things at camp do become a little bit routine, and I don't want that. But I will be putting out some more tent camp journal videos, and until next time, everybody, take care. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep on trucking.